I give many thanks to Jubilee Campaign for inviting me to send in some short remarks from the vantage point of the mandate of the UN Special Rapporteur on freedom of religion or belief. I very much regret that I'm not in Geneva this month, and I wish you well with this panel, which is of great importance. Let me just summarize the 4 communications that this mandate has sent regarding Algeria, in the hope that these might be helpful to your deliberations. Since 2018, the mandate has sent 4 communications on Algeria, all of which were sent between 2020 and 2021. 3 concerned allegations of offense to the precepts of Islam, and 1 concerned the closure of Protestant churches. In all of the former 3, prison sentences were meted out, including to minority Muslims, and in all 3, sentences were either overturned or reduced on appeal. The authorities have tended to respond to these allegation letters and have tended to defend both Algeria's protections of freedom of religion or belief, which, it has to be said, are more restrictive than permissible under the ICCPR, and to deny that any human rights violations took place. As to the first of these communications, in November 2021, the mandate was joined by the Special Rapporteurs on Minority Issues and Freedom of Opinion and Expression, as well as the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, in raising the case of Mr. Hamid Soudad, a member of Algeria's Christian minority, who was sentenced to a fine and 5 years in prison for offense to Islam. The allegations followed Mr. Soudad's sharing on Facebook of a caricature criticizing the marriage of the Prophet Muhammad and Aisha. The Working Group on Arbitrary Detention subsequently declared his detention as arbitrary. In its response, the government defended Mr. Soudad's detention. I welcomed Mr. Soudad's release in July 2023. In the second of these communications, in August 2021, the mandate was joined by the Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Opinion and Expression in raising the case of Mr. Saeed Jabal Khair, a journalist, scholar of Islam, and secondary school Arabic and philosophy teacher, who was similarly sentenced to 3 years imprisonment and a fine for offense to Islam and denigration of the dogma or precepts of Islam. Mr. Jabal Khair's case, in Mr. Jabal Khair's case, once again, Facebook posts constituted the supposed crime. In this case, Mr. Jabal Khair had only made historical arguments about the roots of certain practices of pilgrimage and animal sacrifice, and expressed views concerning the role of the Holy Quran as a book of spiritual and religious guidance. He was the subject of death threats as a result of sharing arguments which fell within the scope of his academic expertise. In its response, the government again defended the detention. Mr. Jabal Khair was released on appeal in February 2023. In the third of these cases, in January 2020, the mandate was joined by several other mandate holders in raising the case of Mr. Yassin Mabaraki, an Amarzigh Muslim and advocate of secularism, who was sentenced on appeal to a year in prison and a fine for offending the precepts of Islam, inciting discrimination and hatred, and possession of war material. His sentencing allegedly related to items found during a search of his home, and these included Amarzigh flags, decorative firearms, a damaged old copy of the Holy Quran, and for his opinions in favor of secularism, which he shared in private meetings. Mr. Mabaraki had originally been sentenced to 10 years in prison, but his sentence was reduced on appeal. The Algerian government defended his sentencing in its response to the mandate holders. And in the final one of the communications I'll share and outline today, in December 2020, the mandate was joined by the Special Rapporteurs on Minority Issues and Freedom of Association in raising concern about the closure of places of worship and churches affiliated with the Protestant Church of Algeria, as well as acts of discrimination against members of the Protestant Christian minority in the country. Specifically, over a 2-year period in 2019, 9 churches affiliated with the PCA had been subjected to closure by regional governors, and a further 49 had been threatened with closure at the time of drafting the allegation letter. Concerns were also raised about the behavior of law enforcement officers during the closures, including the use of physical force against worshippers and church representatives. In its response, the government of Algeria defended the closure of the places of worship due to their failure to meet administrative formalities. I welcome the opportunity to join you today and hope that the panelists may be able to share their deliberations with me subsequently. I'd be most grateful of this, and I'm sorry once again to not be able to be with you. Thank you for your kind attention. I wish you all the best.